Asked the following question: do we need men? Most answered very quickly, no.
Because men are useless.
This headline from The Hill, it caught my eye. Most young men are single. Most young women are not.
Young men have fallen faster than any demographic in America over the last 40 years.
It's a different world now. Like, we don't need men the way that they used to.
Nobody needs men!
The future is female.
Men and women are drifting further apart, and society is crumbling because of it.
A fascinating debate has broken out about the value of marriage.
You've kind of got the trad con versus red pill thing.
This men's rights crowd that sometimes just goes too far the other way.
You need to stop acting like grown boys and infants and actually become men.
Marriage is a bond, and it's a sacred bond.
It's a machine designed to extract resources from you.
Now, many of the red-pilled have taken the position that it's bad for men to get married.
Hannah Pearl Davis, or just Pearly things.
One of the most controversial faces in all of the internet.
She goes on to say that marriage is a terrible deal for men.
Because if me and you were in a business contract, you would never sign a contract where I am paid to leave.
Gee, what could go wrong there?
74% or something of divorces are initiated by women. Men have everything to lose, primarily their own children.
Men get killed by the courts and by divorce laws.
I had no idea that courts of family law were courts of equity, not courts of law.
Because in family court, you don't need evidence to accuse someone of abuse. You need no evidence. When you guys say get married young, a lot of these men don't know what they're signing up for, and you're not going to be there when their entire life falls apart. I interview them on the other side.
I didn't meet my son until he was 15 months old.
How much did you spend trying to get him back?
On legal fees alone was about $200,000.
Before you know it, you're homeless. You're literally just thrown out onto the street.
We absolutely reinforce bad behavior from women.
Wives are taught to leave their husbands, and then daughters grow up without their fathers.
Family is the foundation of society.
Every problem in society comes from single mother homes.
A lot of women will just chase this negative rabbit hole of happiness, endless happiness.
Feminism's biggest failures is it lies to women. We tell women to date as many guys as possible. We tell them to put off family into marriage.
You are allowed to leave your perfect husband. You are allowed to end a relationship with a really great boyfriend.
Oh, freeze your ex, have an abortion. What? You're evil.
I don't think there's anything else in life that we actually ever go into preparing to fail. Right. Like, if you have the mentality of this is going to go wrong and be pessimistic, naturally the outcome is going to be that it's going to fail anyway. Yeah. It's self-sabotage. And that's the thing, like, women are so willing to leave marriages because they're not happy. This is not about happiness. The most important thing is the children. And the problem is we have a modern society where it's me, my feelings, leave when I feel like it, instead of doing what's best for the kids.
This myth that we live in an age of male privilege. Where's my male privilege?
They think, well, men have all the rights. They have all the power.
Privileged patriarchal system that we have.
Why doesn't our society care about men's rights?
I have no friends, no wife, and no social life.
Men are alone in this situation. Men are homeless. Men are thinking about eating guns.
I've seen so many men on the brink of suicide, and they didn't do anything wrong.
How are you equal if the men are the ones that have to fight and die to defend the country? The men are the ones that build and maintain all the infrastructure.
Women are helplessly dependent upon men.
The so-called deaths of despair from suicide, overdose, or alcohol, 3 times higher among men than among women.
Culture is telling men you are no good.
You got to get your act together.
I think men have failed themselves.
What kind of a man are you? What kind of a woman are you going to attract?
If men are in trouble, so are women.
Everybody knows this is a huge problem, but nobody wants to admit it.
Every single woman at the table said they wanted a man.
500K,
500K,
200K,
300K,
200K.
Am I crazy?
Everything is really set up against you to fail as a man.
If men make less than women, women don't want to marry them.
So you know who wants more economically and emotionally viable men? Women.
I don't want to be an independent woman anymore.
I don't want to be a strong, independent woman.
I'm over it. When is it going to be my turn?
Where are we meeting the men that don't stop?
I can't keep having these same conversations.
The only simp here is you, Pearl. You simp for men.
I think you said for women.
She's a provocateur. She says stupid stuff, but Pearl is right about this.
It's already happening. It's just not out in the open yet.
Now it's just hookup culture is going to be our fairy tale ending because men don't want a wife and women can't find a husband.
The future, if everybody follows your path, is there is no future.
We go into population decline, and our economy goes into decline.
Civilization will crumble.
The American story does not end well. This is an existential crisis, failing young men.
What is up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Pearl Daily here on the Audacity Network. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. You can bring your time and attention anywhere. And for some reason, you bring your time and attention to this show, so I appreciate it. Today, we are going to be reacting to one black radical versus 20 black conservatives, a Jubilee video. But after we get through the reaction, we are going to be doing we'll maybe get through like half of this or a quarter. It's pretty long. But we are going to be doing streaming on the website. And I'm going to be going through what I do every week is I show you guys how I analyze my YouTube channel and I look at the things we did well and the things we did not so well. And what it does is it helps you guys be able to analyze yours. You can also hop on the line, ask me any questions. So if you're interested, go to theaudacitynetwork.com or pearlinvite.com and you can apply to be a part of that as well. Okay, so I actually wanted to, I'm going to do this live because this video was just, oh my gosh. It was, oh wait, I thought I stopped sharing this. Oh, it was too good not to watch that I'm actually going to react to one thing before we get into the actual reaction of the day. So I want to show you how conservative commentators that try to sell their religion tend to eat their words. Now, again, Crowder, if you're watching this, I doubt you are. We love you here. We love you here. But unfortunately, you may have fought against the red pill. You may have fought for conservative values. You may have fought for traditionalism. But now you have become an example of why men will avoid it, unfortunately. So I want to show you guys. Let me share my screen. Wait. I'm going to show you guys a video of Crowder just a couple years earlier. Just how different his tune is. Oh, and how much he ate his words. I kind of wish I started watching half of this and I kind of wish I did it live because, oh my gosh, this is so bad. Okay. So it looks like it's like a Fox News segment.
It helps form a bond stronger than something really strong. I speak not of polydent, but of abstinence. At least according to a young man named Steven Crowder. Who's he? Who argues in his latest call that abstinence is kind of awesome. Crowder muses on why abstinence remains a punchline despite offering plenty of benefits to being friends without benefits. Forget that abstinence leads to approximately 0 STDs or studies that show, at least in successful marriages, it's the unbeatable bond of trust that's the real prize.
Now,
Yes,
I'd
as
like
Crowder
to say, yes, abstinence in practice would lead to 0 STDs. But are women being loyal to the abstinent men? No. Unfortunately, right? So half of the people, I do interviews of people with incurable STDs, and half of them got it from their wife. Half. 50% of the men that I interviewed that got an incurable STD, the herp derp got it from their wife. So it doesn't really.
No more worrying about your significant other cheating on you because partners can be supremely confident in their respective self-control. Unlike the inventors of the new South American butt dance. That is just unusual.
Not
I think you got a
acceptable.
concussion. That'll put me off sex forever. Steve, here's my question. It's admirable. When do you stop? When do you stop with the abstinence? How will you know it's time?
Well, once you have a ring on your finger, obviously. The only way to know for sure is once you're married. And of course, people know I'm a Christian. This column is not at all pushing faith in anybody. It's just talking about the actual benefits. If you really want to argue for abstinence, you can stop the argument.
No, you have to understand, the only thing that marriage does is put a promise with the state, right? You could argue there's a promise with God there. Women don't care about God. You know what I mean? So really what's happening is right now you have men basically begging to give up their leverage. Their only leverage is being sexually inexclusive with women. That's it. That's all you got. You got that and walking away. By signing into the marriage contract, you're essentially giving up your right to do that. And the interesting thing is men will beg to be taken advantage of. Men can't help but simp. They really can't. It's like, I don't know. I think it must be in their DNA to get cucked. Not saying Crowder kind of, I mean, I think if you're paying your ex-wife $40K a month, it's kind of cucked because, I mean, she's probably banging someone else.
Abstinent, don't get sick and die.
Yeah.
But, I can say from personal experience that it does build a bond of trust. Constantly hear women, how often do you hear, well, don't you trust me? It's like, no, you slept with me on the first date. So, of course, I don't trust you.
So, again, remember, betas tend to, because remember, women make rules, break rules for alphas, they make rules for betas. So, what betas have a tendency to do, or men, because beta, it's not about money, it's about mindset, right? And what betas tend to do is they punish women for breaking rules for them, okay? Because they don't realize that women don't always sleep with men on the first date. I mean, some women, it's just a normal occurrence, right? That's how they are. But what happens is, it's like they're selecting for the women that view them as a paycheck, essentially, because they like put themselves in that box by punishing the women for, what I would argue is good behavior on his program. Because remember, you can still get married if you have sex before the only difference is you guys made a promise. But I mean, what's more important, the actions or the words? So if two teenagers get together in high school and they just stay together, I mean, what's the difference? I don't really see a difference.
Like I would join a club that would let me into that club.
Right.
It's she's going to sleep with me, then she'll
Usually
sleep with
because I'm
anybody.
Canadian, they won't let me in.
Yeah.
Except for Canadian Club Ginger Ale.
Amy, do you have any thoughts on this?
Yes, but also, if I sleep with a guy on the first date, usually if a guy holds my hand, he's going to wind up. So here's the thing. I don't think that women should use sex as a bargaining chip, and a lot of them do. If I want to sleep with someone, I do it, and I am a monogamous.
Okay. Did you hear what she said? She said, I don't want to use sex as a bargaining chip. Again, isn't that what you want as a guy, a woman that doesn't use sex as a bargaining chip? Yeah, but they'll never see it.
Slut. Can I say that on
Yeah,
air?
I think you can.
Great.
So she says I'm a monogamous slut. Okay.
That's not what we're worried about.
But what I'm saying is, I have a higher risk of disease. I also have a much higher risk of fun.
No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is to prove my point by saying
Okay,
that,
so this is kind of the back and forth. It's the people playing the game, and it's the people that are okay with risk, essentially, because you can't get anything you want in life without risk. So these are the people in the game. And when you're in the game, you take L's, you take W's. It just is what it is. And then there's the people not playing the game, but somehow signaling that they're playing. Yeah, so I don't know if that point made sense, but okay.
No, you don't think it should be used as a bargaining tool.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as it's just the kind of point of the column is that abstinence is the one taboo issue regarding sex. I mean, it's like, oh, be a dirty stand-up comic. You're cracking new ground there, Copernicus. But once you talk about abstinence, everyone all of a sudden they put you like right now we have to talk about it because who is this kid who's talking about abstinence?
Well, it's who's this kid who's 23. You don't know who you're going to be sexually yet. So to talk about it with such authority and arrogance.
I don't know who I'm going to be. What?
You don't know who you're going to be sexually yet. You're going to be into really weird things in about a decade.
Oh, I have no doubt. I have no doubt.
Trust me. And the thing is, it doesn't.
But I
There
really
should be
do
no.
wanna do- there's
But
nothing
there
wrong with
should be
that.
no confidence. You slip by the dirty comedian thing. But honestly, you call yourself a comedian, but you don't do it that much. Like I go fishing a couple times a year, but I don't introduce myself on TV as a fisherman. Wow.
Well, it's not really personal for a concept about abstinence. I'm saying
No,
the
but
whole
what I'm
point
saying
is
is
that
there's
someone
no
can get up on
way.
stage, we even talk about it in the column, and talk about anything dirty that they want. But the second you mention abstinence, people, they pucker with discomfort, like, oh no, we can't talk about this. And you're vilified as
It's just
judgmental.
not
Statistically, it's the healthiest thing to do. It is conducive towards a better marriage by a 25%.
How did it turn out? And this is the thing, their worldview is so strong that it's like it could be right in front of us. They could see Catholics get divorced. They could see Christians get divorced. They could see people that were abstinent, people that were together for 20 years. It'll be in front of them, but they can't see it because they want to be right so bad. Abstinence does not work in a society with social media. It doesn't. It does not.
Spread both physically.
It only takes that one person though, and there's no contract that the person's not going to cheat on you because they're abstinent. She could
There is
fall
no
in love
contract.
with somebody
Well,
else.
actually, there is a contract. That's what a marriage
She could
is.
fall.
It's a contract.
It's a contract that more than 60% of people break.
No, actually, that's not true. Actually, if you look at the new U.S. Census Bureau statistics, more than 70% of first-time marriages last.
Okay, but then the guy goes.
How did that work out for you, Crowder? He's eating his words. She's right. Amy, they don't realize it because they're trying to like slut shame her or whatever here. But she's cooking. She's cooking. She said, I don't want to use sex as a bargaining chip. And 2, she said, just because you sign a contract doesn't mean they'll stay with you. And that's completely correct. She cooked. I never thought I would be in a world. And unfortunately at the time, I'm sure because of the virtue signaling, he came out as the winner on top. But, time comes back and now we're recirculating. Cooked.
Sleeps with a young boy.
Well,
good.
Yeah,
you guys stayed married, but
okay. Do you know what the worst part of this is? Amy Schumer is married for 7 years and Crowder is divorced. I mean, I don't want to use her as like a winner because, I mean, we don't know what'll happen in her future. But how crazy is it that Amy Schumer is married longer than you? Oh my God, that's such an L.
Then there's infidelity.
Well, once you bring out the statistics that guys are running around rampantly sleeping with young boys.
First of all, I'm not a boy. I know I have characteristics as such.
All I'm saying is yes, you're right. Of course, it is way safer to not have sex, but yeah, but if you have sex with one person, maybe they've had sex with one person. It only takes that one. I've probably had sex with, I don't know, a baker's 2 dozen, and I'm fine.
You had sex with Mike Baker? He is happily married. Thus proving your point.
He's hot. All I'm saying is not cheating is a contract.
You're abstinent, but not by choice.
No.
He's bought me some absinthe because we've been practicing abstinence, but you bought absinthe for us to share, and then
I thought it would lighten the mood and maybe get you naked.
Yeah.
Didn't either. Lots of vomiting. I would like to say that even though I'm not absent by choice, teardrop, I thought it was a great column, and I thought he made some very good points. And there is a point to be made.
All right, Amy, again, she's being more honest than most women are. We got to stop punishing honesty. We got to stop we really got to stop. I mean, men are begging to be lied to sometimes. She said she slept with 12 dudes. What is she, like 32 in this clip? I don't know. Most men will take that. I know you guys are going to say in the comments, I would never. You have no way of verifying. There's no facts. You're not going to know.
About how the fact that
and Crowder's wife had zero when she screwed him over.
Really the only taboo left is this.
Yeah.
I mean, there's really nothing left that'll get your shock factor up.
Yeah, no, it's true. And also, you know what? Your mom always said, Imogen, your mom always said, if you want respect, don't put up.
Okay. No, we won't accept that. How do you know? Unless you're Team MGTOW, you're not accepting anybody. Okay. But you are never going to know. I have seen too many women get away with it. I have. You are not going to know.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So there is, I mean, it's something that's handed down. And until you have kids, you might find yourself saying that.
And I do put it in my book. It's gone around the world, and I do on one level talk a bit about abstinence, but more like a few dates. I'm not saying act like someone out of Jersey Shore if you want a long-standing relationship. I do put that top tip in my book. Yeah.
That's the thing, like lack of abstinence is directly linked to really good abs. That's the problem.
That is a problem.
Yeah,
that is
I've
true.
got a beer gut.
But I have to say, my last 3 relationships, which each lasted between 2 to 5 years, we slept with each other almost immediately. Mm-hmm. And it's because I knew that I wanted to be with them,
Except
that why'd you kill them?
Except at the 5-year mark.
Yeah, but so what? At least I...
Yeah, and again, I don't know how long Crowder was married. How long? Let me look. Yeah, a lot of these people, they speak with such as if they know they'll stay married. Oh, I guess he made it a little longer. 2021. All right, he made it 9 years. 9 years. it's a red flag that she's so open about her. Look, I mean, you want her to lie? She's being more honest than the rest of the panel.
Figured it out, and I didn't get married and spend my life with somebody that I hate.
But statistically,
And
that's,
I had a
that's
great
unrealistic.
time.
Statistically, that's wrong. I mean, if you want to disregard stats, in fact,
Yeah, and the reason we disregard stats a lot is because commentators want to be right so bad that they manipulate them to fit their narrative. Yeah, he ate his words.
Statistically, what's wrong?
Statistically, 87% of people who wait until they're married are happier, and 52% aren't. And the same thing that you can look at the social organization of sexuality.
Yeah, and anybody, Rollo said this actually, but he said anybody using happiness as a metric in a study is selling you something. They're selling you religion because, I mean, I could ask Melania Trump, are you happy? And even though she has a happy marriage, maybe that day she's pissed and she says no. You know, it's just not a good metric.
These are not
How do
Christian
you have
funded studies.
statistics on people's happiness?
You tell them, are you happy?
Are
you
they because they're
emotionally
at church
satisfied?
smiling?
No, you can say, are you emotionally satisfied in your marriage? Yes, no. By 25% spread, both spouses who are virgins. Yes. Are you sexually satisfied in your marriage? Yes. Is it difficult for you to achieve orgasm?
What? Why would people have to be honest
It's
about
all
their
the sources
emotions?
are listed in the column. Every single source listed. These are things that have been used by the Kinsey Institute.
I'm sorry, Amy is cooking. Amy is cooking him. It doesn't seem like it at the time, but she is cooking. She's totally cooking. Because that's true.
What I'm saying is, who cares what they said? A lot of people say they have happy marriages, even in therapy, when they're miserable.
So the 25-point spread doesn't matter because only the people who will be lying would be the people who.
Yeah, look it. Someone says some things are meant for behind closed doors. Part of femininity is discretion. I totally agree with you. I totally agree. Amy Schumer. That's why it's almost more of a slap in the face that Schumer outmarried Crowder because, I mean, I guess we'll see. She's got like 3 years left. But it's even worse because, I mean, she's Amy Schumer. You know what I mean?
For abstinent.
I just don't know any happily married people.
Speaking of statistics,
I don't.
let's get back to my plight. Statistically, 100% of these women are not calling me back.
That is true.
Nobody's reading my column,
That
if
is
you catch my
true.
drift, Greg.
Yes.
So call me, lady.
Yes, exactly. Maybe you should have done the column on abstinence.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes.
And the headline would have been Catfish.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm sorry that got so heated. I just want
That
to
was
say
good TV.
I just want to say that I read the blog and it did come across to me like you ended it by saying no judgments, but it definitely felt very judgmental.
Of course, when the column was written about the reaction from people like you, who the second you talk about abstinence get upset. So, thank you.
Well, people like me who are almost 10 years older than you and know what it's like to live life and not just have all these morals with no life experience.
Right, I have no life experience. That is true.
I'm sorry, but somebody who works a little bit of the Christian comedy circuit.
The Christian comedy circuit. What just happened?
No. The irony is,
this is the longest debate.
I want them to come back. I want them to do a panel again. All right, that's enough of that. I thought she cooked. I didn't like the judgmental comment because I do think people have a right to their opinions, and I do understand what conservative guys are going for. It just doesn't work anymore. Sorry, fellas. It's not what I wish to be true. But even virgins, if they got social media, you're just cooked. So instead, we're going to react to this Jubilee video. I'm going to bring up Doug MPA in a second. Let me just reshare this screen. All right. Doug, can you hear me?
Hey, I'm here. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
I am good. I hate Amanda Seales. She's a demon. So I'm glad you're doing this reaction.
Before we get going, what'd you think of the Crowder clip we just watched?
It aged so badly. How old was he in that clip? He's like early 20s, right?
But it made it worse because I'm like, Amy's still married. Oh, that is such an L. Oh,
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And if you see some of the guys that Amy got dug out by earlier in her career.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. She would. Yeah. She got dug out. But hey, she won. She found a guy to marry her, and they've been married since 2018, so they're still going.
He's cute too. He's a good-looking guy. I think he's a stereotypical, that's pretty good for her looks level, I'd say. You agree or no? He doesn't look like a loser.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they're this. I just looked him up just now. Chris Fisher is his name. Yeah, I mean, he's a chef.
Yeah, for her looks level.
I mean, they look like a regular couple because Amy Schumer's not attractive at all.
No.
Not even close. So, I mean, he looks like he's about 6 foot. Yeah, I mean, they match each other.
All right.
They tried to say that Amy Schumer was attractive in like the mid 2010s. She was on Vogue and all this stuff, and they tried to push her pretty hard, but it just never took off.
Yeah. Okay, let's watch this.
Oh, before we get started, Amanda Seales, in the 2010s, accused this guy who was an NFL player turned neurosurgeon of sexual harassment, and he threatened legal action, and she had to get onto Instagram and say, well, I didn't say he harassed me. I was just saying that people heard that I heard that people said something, blah, blah, blah. And he said, look, we've never met in person. She reached out to me on social media and wanted to go out on a date, and I said no. So then she tried to say, oh, he was sexually inappropriate with women and me and blah, blah, blah. He threatened to sue her, and she shut up and had to retract everything.
So she's a certain type of crazy. All right. This is my introduction to her, so we'll see.
It's toxic. And let's get on the fact that there's no fathers
So
in
white
the black
culture.
home. Let's
Stop.
talk about that.
Stop.
Who do
You're
we vote
talking
for?
to a radical, not a Democrat. The radical mind state simply is living opposite to our colonizers, which is an imperialist, capitalist mind state, and radical blacks do not believe that is any way for us to have liberation. Well, here's what you all keep doing. You keep interrupting me when I'm talking, and you don't want to hear the point that I'm going to make, and yet you want me to respect your point. And that's not how a debate works. If I show you respect, give me.
That is such female gaslighting. Oh my gosh. He's being so respectful. She's being disrespectful. Yelling at him about being disrespectful. I just can't. Oh my gosh.
The respect back. Ooh, I knew I was going to be surrounded by ignorance, but damn, let's go. Greetings. I am Amanda Seales, widely known as a comedian, an actress, a disruptor, an annoying person on the internet who always tells the truth. And I am now an artistic intellectual who commits myself to making art that educates. And today, I am surrounded by 20 Black conservatives. My first claim is it is undeniable that reparations are just and necessary.
Oh, I like him.
All right, reparations.
I think we've gone back and forth on Twitter before, but I do like him. He's gonna cook.
Yeah, I forgot his name. I like him too.
Anthony, I think. Oh, there it is, Anthony. Let's see him cook.
Fair, necessary. My question would be, who's going to get it? Why would they get it? And how long are we going to sit here focusing on trying to get reparations? It's been how many years since slavery? 150 years, 1865? Whenever there's a real thing that this country wants to do, they do it. Stop Asian hate. Okay, there's a problem with the Asian hate. Let's draft a bill, sign it, and it's done. Anything that needs to be done is done. With us, it's a carrot they dangle in front of us that they don't really want to do. And it's not going to help. We need education. Oh, it's not going to help. No, it's not. We need education. Getting a check from the government is not going to do that. And we need proper education. A lot of us go to these institutions where we're not really prepared, we're not really focused, and we don't get things that'll help us in the real world. So if you want to help Black people, a check from the government, from our tax dollars is going to get raised, because let's be clear, everybody in here is Black. We all American. We all got to pay taxes. It'll go to that. So I don't really see how this is going to help us at all.
Okay. Well, first I'll start with it will help on even just a moral level. The reality is that the United States has become very comfortable with the fact that it does not consider Black people equal. And it shows that in many ways that I'm sure we will discuss over the course of today. But ultimately, there has not been a committed, concerted effort to shifting the mindset around the use of Black people as a labor force in this nation back when it was slavery, now in the use of slavery as slave labor in prisons. So,
you know what's interesting? Women with causes, men are really looking to move forward. Women just live in the past. They're like 100 years ago, this happened, so we deserve money. Where men are like, do you know what? Let's just work on the education, better jobs, resources. Let's just move on. And then the women come in, they're like, no, we must live in the past. Male-female gender dynamics are kind of everywhere. Like you can see it with these causes. What do you think, Doug MPA?
Yeah, I agree. You hit it spot on. Jordan Peterson said that young people take on these big causes to shirk the fact that when you're young, you're like insignificant and you don't matter. So and no one cares what you think. So you latch onto these big causes. Women like Amanda do that their entire lives and never grow out of it. She's literally like a 19-year-old kid, but she's in her 40s. And I hate this narrative where, oh yeah, Blacks built the United States. That's not true. There was a small percentage. Yes, slavery was bad, but most slaves were in the South doing agriculture, right? They weren't in the factories in the North building textiles. They didn't build the freaking railroads. They didn't do any of that. Yes, they contributed because cotton and agriculture did do a lot, but the actual infrastructure was built from the North. And you could also argue that a lot of the gains that the South made through slavery were burned up in the Civil War. So I hate this narrative. Oh yeah, Blacks built. Yeah, Americans built America. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I agree. Okay.
On a basic cultural level, reparations are an act of repair. They are an effort to say, our bad, we see you now. We have seen that done with Japanese folks who were put in internment camps. We have seen that done with...
I think the problem is women get these TikTok clips and these shorts where they can sound really cool for like 30 seconds and say something that sounds really nice. But in long form, most women can't do it. And so we get this ego as if we're as intelligent because we get the clout off of the short form like clips.
Jewish folks. We have seen that done even in the case of slave owners who received reparations. When it comes to the use of tax dollars to pay reparations, and this is going to come up a lot today, it's a matter of values, right? For me, my value system circulates around the fact that I think that as a community, we should all be engaged in repair for our community. So I don't think there should be any problem with there being tax dollars spent at repairing consistent efforts that have been made to impede Black people. So the reparations you're talking about are not just related to slavery. There's reparations that have been discussed all over this nation in different communities as it relates to particular massacres, as it relates to redlining and the impediment of Black people to earn wealth by having property. There's been impediments in various ways that can be repaired. And I want to also just add, there's reparations that are considered a cash payment from a government. There's also the version of reparations that shows up in how funds are applicated to specific groups of people. So there's multiple ways in which what you're stating cannot happen could very well happen.
Okay, now as far as the money going towards certain things is going to help us, let's look at Baltimore Public Schools. They get, I think, the third most money per pupil in the US of A, like $15,000 per student, but yet the majority of the population that comes from that environment can't read. They're illiterate. So we're dumping money on the situation, yes, but yet we're not getting the results we should get from it.
Oh my gosh, this was crazy. When I was in high school, I didn't know that my high school had like half the funding of the public schools. And I went to a private school. And I didn't realize that like our tuition was half of what the public school got. And they all had these really nice, like, you know, they had really nice gyms. Like we didn't have air conditioning at our school. They had air conditioning. Like,
wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And like our school, like I remember like they had these giant lunchrooms. Like they would have field houses for gyms, and we had like 2 non-air conditioned gyms. But my best friend went to the public school. and we got the same grades in middle school, but when we took the ACTs, mine was like 5 points higher. And my brother had the same experience with his best friend, where like 4 years later, we started off getting the same grades and then we went to different schools. And I don't know if you know anything about the ACT, that's a huge difference. And so he's totally right about the funding, because it doesn't really matter if you have a lot of money from the state if you're not using it properly. Like, I mean, at her
100%.
school, the teachers wouldn't even do anything. Like, she said she'd be so bored, she'd have no homework. Like, and I remember being so jealous. I'm like, that sounds awesome. We go to that school.
Yeah, especially think about this, guys. 80 to 85% of teachers are women. And these women are more concerned about finding out if your kid is LGBT, HCTV than them actually reading. Too many teachers are pushing. I'd rather have my child go to a smaller school where the teachers are focused on actual education instead of all this political agenda stuff that these public school teachers are taking part in.
Yeah, I agree. Let's watch it. Oh wait, no, wrong one.
Money's not going to help the thing. We need to just focus on what we need to focus on. As far as Black people being labor force of this country, what else are we doing? We got 25% of us on some kind of government assistance. 1 out of every 3 Black men will go to jail. We got to do something. We got to work with our hands, work with tools, do something, because we're not doing much of anything. And also, one more piece here. Reparations, again, always anchored in front of us, never going to happen. As long as you've been living, as long as I've been living, as long as everybody been living, they say we need it, and it never gets done. One more piece.
You just said one more piece, then you're adding another one.
I promise.
So hold on to it.
I'm gonna land the plane. I'm gonna land the plane. I promise. Reparations is a thing. Like I said, it's a carrot that's dangling in front of us. They're never really going to get it done. And if it was going to get done, it would have already been done. It's just something that they're using to try and make us stay Democrat. That's what I wanted to say.
Well, Democrats.
Yeah, go ahead, Doug.
I agree. Just like how you the radical acceptance on baby deletion, like we just have to accept the fact that it's just not going to happen and move forward. I agree with them 100%.
That's the thing. It's women want to live in the past. Men are like, all right, let's make peace with this and move on.
Yep.
It's even in the political stuff.
Are not doing reparations either. This is not partisan. This is Black partisan, baby. Okay.
Well,
this is not partisan.
Who do we vote for? Who do we vote for? 93% of the time. There's no incentive.
To be quite honest, you're not talking to a Democrat. You're talking to a radical.
Okay, but let's
land this plane very quickly.
Who do we vote for?
Talking this plane quickly.
You're
talking to a radical, not a Democrat.
Okay, and you are your own person.
Let me tell you something now. I don't know what they told you, but if they told you that cutting me off is how we're going to get clicks, stop it now.
Oh, no.
That's not how we're going to. That's not how we're going to enter.
We having a debate.
A debate does not require continuously cutting somebody off.
Yeah, women go into men's spaces and can't deal with what men have to deal with. You don't think men get cut off? Doug MPA, do you ever get cut off at work? You ever go to your job and someone cuts you off? I mean,
it's called discourse.
Yeah.
And here's the thing: women expect, guys. If you watch any of these ratchet panels, women say, "Let me finish." So guys let them finish, and then when they start talking, women cut them off, and that's exactly what's going on here.
Okay, no problem.
Now, I do want to state this. You're stating things as it relates to how money is not fixing a problem without acknowledging the fact that the problem doesn't exist in a vacuum and that there are so many other factors that are determining how that money is getting spent to impede it from actually fixing a problem. You can put all the money into Baltimore public schools you want, but if you are also putting all this money into policing, into communities that are not getting resources, then you are also creating your own conundrum. The other part of this is that when you're saying they, the they is a broad context. And the last part of this that I will say is that you keep saying they're dangling this in our face. They're dangling in our face. Slavery lasted for 400 years. It hasn't even been 400 years since slavery. So should we be only fighting for a quarter of the time to get repair?
All right. I'm so sorry. You've been voted out by the majority.
All right.
Please return to your seat.
Okay.
Oh, I'm excited. I've seen clips of this guy. This kid's like 18 years old. And the clips I saw, he was really well spoken.
My name is Matt Nuclear.
Hello,
I
Matt.
appreciate
Matt
sharing-
Nuclear?
Matt Nuclear, yes.
Matt Nuclear, give me a better handshake than that.
What is wrong with these women? What the hell? He sat down.
Pearl,
What is
Amanda Seals has nuked everything that she's ever been a part of. And you're seeing why, because she can't turn this off. So every professional endeavor, every show she's been on, she's just burned bridges with producers and script writers and music producers, everything. And
Like-
you're seeing it right now.
I was just thinking that he came in so polite, and I was thinking, wow, Gen Z. I was like, wow, Gen Z. You know, it's not like Gen Z men or women shake hands, and I was actually impressed that he did it, and he was so polite. And I'm like, you had to nitpick his handshake. He's 18. God, that pissed me off. Oh my gosh. It's like, why?
Let's
Thank
do
you.
it.
I
All right.
appreciate having this conversation with a beautiful Black woman like yourself. This is nice, beautiful arena here. I disagree that reparations are necessary. I think the most important thing that's necessary right now for the Black community would be the stopping of violence, especially Black on Black violence. I don't see how reparations is going to solve anything. You can give everyone here like a $50,000 check, especially people that are in the streets who are committing violent crimes consistently. A $50,000 check, it's not going to fix anything. It's not going to increase the median household income in the next 10 years by 10% or 20%. For example, we had the Chinese Exclusion Act of 1882. We prevented Chinese people from getting citizenship and even entering the country. We discriminated against them and basically put them under apartheid, even here in the United States. Yet they have the highest median household income. How is that possible? How come they don't complain and feel entitled consistently to beg for reparations and beg for this when they are killing each other 90% of the time, which is the rate that Black people kill each other, according to the FBI?
Oh, young Matt.
Yet white people are the oppressors.
Doug, did you go to a white school or a Black school, or like mixed? What was your
White schools.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
And I'm better off.
Did you interact with a lot of Black people growing up? Was it your family or yeah?
No, I didn't. There were 30 Black kids in my high school of 2000. And then, I went to college on the West Coast for undergrad and grad school. So I was there were only a couple of Black kids in my undergrad and grad program.
I was just wondering if you knew anybody that like had been in a violent situation or something. But
Yeah. I have a couple of friends. So when I moved to the East Coast, I would meet people from Baltimore and Philadelphia, and they had some stories, man. And I don't even try to pretend to participate in those stories. I just listen, because my hometown, we didn't have none of that going on. But I have met people from Philadelphia, Baltimore, Houston, Memphis that grew up in some crazy situations. So yes.
I'm not sure where your education came from, but they lied to you.
Stats don't lie, though.
Statistics lie all the time. So let's start there, particularly when the statistics are coming from these sources that
I hate to say this, they're kind of true. That's kind of true. It's not that they lie, but they can be misrepresented often. But I always say your first line of questioning should be, what do I see with my eyes? And I'm not gonna, you guys know what I'm getting at. Come on.
gain from the statistics being shown a different way. So if you're going to start your argument on stats don't lie, you've already lost the argument. They lie all the time. One, comparing Chinese people who are immigrants that made a choice to come to the United States and comparing the continued effort of Black people to ground themselves in a nation that continues to make impediments for them to show and live and exist in their true citizenship is a false equivalency.
I don't believe that happens at all. What? No one here is in.
Are you acting right now? Do you really believe
I'm telling
this?
the truth. There's no systemic racism that I've experienced here in America. What system is racist? I think the only racism we've actually seen recently, systemic racism that we've seen, is the application of systemic racism against white people. The University of Western Washington, for example, has been trying to segregate dormitories using Black-only dormitories because Black people feel safer amongst each other, but they're more likely to kill each other than white people are ever to kill them. That's just the truth. You have King Von rapping about killing other Black men. Why should I think that the white man is the oppressor?
It's like
when Black men are
gaslighting to the umpteenth degree, because It's like literally in the music, but if you notice it, you're the bad guy. So
And also, I'm going to expand on what he's saying. There's racism towards Asian people when it comes to college admissions, because a lot of Ivy League schools, over 50% of the population is Asian. So they added, instead of just extracurricular activities, grades, ACT, SAT scores, they add a personality score now to see if you're a personality fit for the campus. And that is to get less Asian people in and more people that aren't Asian. So there are Asians that are suing Harvard and Columbia because they're being discriminated against to get less Asians into the school.
More likely to kill me.
Oh my
Tell me.
God, this is scary. You need to think about me as your mama. Do not talk to me in that fashion. So let's check that now.
Okay.
Okay. So
men got to stop saying okay. I mean, I do that too, but that's the problem. When someone says something crazy and your immediate reaction is like, okay, yeah.
on a basic level, we have to understand that systemic racism is grounded in the realities that Black people have not been considered an equal human being in this country since its onset. So there's simply no way.
Crazy. They give Black people the right to vote before women, Black men. So I'm like, really? I mean, they knew then not to give women the right. Even when they're super racist, they knew. They knew, do not give women this right. Don't. Not all. It's a comedy. It's a joke. It's a joke. YouTube. Okay.
To make the argument that there isn't systemic racism, and we have seen in very clear ways the system operate in an organically racist way. Do not cut me off. When we talk about systemic racism, we can start with even the fact that redlining, which was implemented to discriminate Black communities. Are you shaking your head that redlining doesn't exist?
No, I'm saying I don't think it really existed at all. I mean, no, I don't think so at all.
So it does exist. And stating that it doesn't exist doesn't make it no longer exist. Redlining absolutely exists. It is not something that's being made up. It's an empirical fact. And there are realities that exist because of redlining. We know that school systems are related to the way that property taxes are affecting the school systems. If a school system is not getting the same property value as the property taxes allow it, then it's not going to have the same efficacy at allowing for students to be able to get what they deserve. When we talk about systemic racism, we have to acknowledge that these—
Cut her off, King. Cut her off. Cut her off.
Private prisons are literally built based on the test scores of school students in 3rd grade. So if you are literally building prisons with the onset of, okay, if these people are not reaching a certain reading level, then we know that they're going to go down a prison industrial pipeline where we can use their free labor. Then how is that not systemic? And if you want to
stop them from entering prisons,
how are you going to stop people from entering prisons if your goal is to get them into prison?
Sure, make them try to be more like Ben Carson than be like King Von. That's very, very simple.
So how does King Von happen? How does King Von happen?
King Von
reparations.
Hold on,
actually, no. Let me land the plane.
Yeah.
We're talking about reparations, and what you're doing is actually—
What a demon, dude! What an absolute demon.
Yeah, I mean, I would have said, you want to end it? Stay with your baby daddy. Have kids pick out with a job that might, be a good father, or at least maybe wants a kid. That would end. That would help.
Just trying to get this conversation off the facts. And the fact is, reparations are just and necessary because on a basic level, Black people built this country, and the country continues to thrive off of the labor that Black people put into this country. And it would behoove you, young man, to really understand the way that your ancestors—
Got to stop listening to it's so hard because naturally when you're a polite person, you want to let people finish, but you got to stop with these broads.
Then also, blood, sweat, he's a man and she's a woman. So as a man in a situation like this, you're not supposed to react back because they'll be like, oh, you're getting— a woman can emote in front of a man and he has to sit there like this and he has to wait for an opening. But if you were to match this energy, they'd be like, oh, why is he getting all emotional? He's not blah, blah, blah. So he has to sit there and take it.
Tears into this nation that is still living off of those blood, sweat, and tears. And let me also add, there are reparations and then there is remunerations. Do you know the difference?
Yes, but can I finish one point that I wanted to say?
Question.
Ben Carson's cousins were killed at a very young—
I'm so sorry. You've been voted out by the majority.
Okay.
Please return to your seat.
I hope some of y'all are acting. I really do. I really, we in LA, and I hope some people in here are acting.
Oh, he was so cute. He was like adorable. Oh, why? Why did they?
Oh, what's that on your chain?
This is a coin from Israel.
Lord have mercy.
Yes, you gotta go.
That's a choice that you are making for yourself.
Yes. The thing with the whole reparations thing, and I don't know, we're probably close to the same age, so maybe you can't call me
How old
mom.
are you?
I'm 32.
I'm 44.
Oh, really? Oh, you look young.
Thank you. That's
All
what water and keeping stress out of your life will do.
We gotta stop lying to these women. He knew damn well she was 40.
Really? Liberal positions are real stressful.
By the way, wouldn't know. I'm not a liberal. Carry on.
I hate it. You know what? My guitar teacher does this. When I tell him he's a liberal and he's like, I'm not a liberal. And I'm like, you're a liberal. And he's like, I'm like, why do you guys gaslight me to eternity?
Yep.
Like, it would be like if I said, oh, you're a Republican. I'm like, well, I'm not a Republican. I'm a conservative. I'm like, okay, but I'm still going to vote Republican. You know, it's like, or yeah, I'm going to vote for whoever's going to keep my YouTube channel monetized. Go ahead.
It's like all the feminists. The cool thing to do is say that they're not a feminist when they're spewing feminist talking points. That's the new grip.
Well, it's the liberal position because conservatives believe in hard work. We believe in going to work and working for what you got, not asking for handouts from people who never had slaves. Some of the people that you're asking for money from never had slaves. And let's talk about the fact there were also Black people that had slaves. So if you want to talk about that, how is that fair? If I'm a white person and my family fall on the side of the Union, why should I have to pay for slaves when this whole country was never all racist? Some of the founding fathers were abolitionists, and they hated slavery. And they actually put things in the Declaration of Independence and things too, because they believed that there'll be a future where there would be a Black president one day, or that there would be people in leadership that were Black. There was people in the North who helped with the Underground Railroad and fought with the Union. So why is that fair for people who never had slaves, who fought against slavery, to have to pay for people that had slaves?
One, from my understanding, you are more interested in preserving the fairness of those who didn't have slaves than the fairness of those who are the descendants of slaves. That is priority to you than finding a fair way to accommodate those who have been the descendant of slaves.
Well, our ancestors wasn't asking for handouts. They were asking for equal opportunity. And we have equal opportunity in this country. We had a Black president, just in case you didn't know. We had a Black president and we had a Black vice president. I mean, I think she was Black. They said she was Black. I don't know. So
he's funny.
We had a Black president, and you know who voted for that Black man? White people, because you can't win a popular election in this country without white people. So Barack Obama is the product of white people. So let's get off this thing where, oh, America is so racist. What's making America so racist is people that continue to talk about racism and continue to focus on racism instead of focusing on unity and bringing our country forward. People that have this liberal mindset are infecting our communities, Black people, and making us victims and not victors. I refuse to embrace a victim mentality because that's not what our grandparents and Harriet Tubman and those people fought for. They fought for equal
not bring
opportunity.
up Harriet Tubman's name in vain, baby. Please.
They said the Lord's name in vain.
Harriet Tubman.
What is wrong with this woman? I just have no words for how she's
Every professional endeavor Amanda Seales has been involved in, she's nuked or burned bridges. I keep saying it. She never turns this off ever, and she'll get presented an opportunity, and then she'll run her mouth, and then she'll have it taken away. all the hit shows she was on. She burned the bridges with the people, with the cast and the crew of because she's like this. She's gonna end up sad, old, and alone.
Lord's name. Harriet Tubman was literally saving her family and others from slavery.
Yeah. You know who helped her? White people.
You know who helped her?
They were on the Underground Railroad.
No,
Come on in.
No, you know who helped her?
Come on in.
No, you know who helped her?
God and
people who benefit from white supremacy. One of the things
it's a lie. White supremacy is a lie.
No, sir,
It's
that's
a
simply
lie.
not
There's
true.
no such. I mean,
if that were not the case, then we wouldn't see the continued effort of colonialism and white people placing themselves in position.
I gotta be honest. If Black people would stop talking about this topic, I would pay the reparations. What do they want? Like 10% for a
Well, I
year?
can tell you-
You could be done. I know it would never end, but I'm like, do you know what? If they could just stop guilting us about something we didn't even do, it's like I think a lot of white people would pay, like just to get them to stop. Go ahead.
So I thought about this, right? So let's say reparations were to become a thing. It would have to be something infrastructure building. So I would say, okay, if you're a descendant of slaves, you get free college for 20 years. Now, from like 18 to 25, or maybe you get access to a low or no interest housing loan or something like that for like a certain amount of time or whatever. It would have to be something infrastructure building. But I don't think that Black people, I don't think that we would take it, because that would mean once that was implemented, we would have to leave slavery behind. And there are too many people that aren't willing to do that. They're just not. America's zeitgeist and consciousness would literally move on. But they tried to do it with Barack Obama being president, but that wasn't quote unquote enough. But if they gave reparations, the country would literally move on. And there's too many Black people like Amanda that wouldn't be able to handle it.
Yeah, then they'd be unemployed. Imagine if they got the reparations, what would they do for a living?
Positions
They'd
of power.
find something.
You know,
yeah.
Why
do
they're
not
in
have the
position of
power.
power? Because their
hear
culture, Black culture, is toxic. The Black culture is toxic. We have produced a culture that is toxic. And let's get on the fact that there's no fathers in the Black home. Let's talk about that.
Stop.
Let's talk about that.
Stop.
Let's talk about that.
None of this is gonna work if y'all are just gonna sit here and make up shit.
It's
not gonna work. No, it's a debate. Has to be in facts.
You're putting off emotional liberalism.
I am
right
not
now.
putting off emotional liberalism.
He's doing the best at cooking her, because the other people shut up and he's not, because that's the problem. You can't show fear of her emotions, otherwise the women keep going. It's tough because, again, your natural reaction as a person is to be polite. But yeah, he must be, I bet he's in comedy or something where he has to use this skill, because that's a skill.
Putting off unfounded lies
That's what y'all
based
do. Y'all
in
start saying
conservatism.
misinformation. Remember, they
It
did the
is
misinformation thing all summer, where everything
Look at this
conservative
man.
did. They said
You're carrying a chain around your neck of an apartheid nation that actively wants to harm Black people and non-Jewish people. But let me bring it back. Let me bring it back.
Selling Black people
Let me
in
bring
Africa
it. That was not happening in the context that you're saying.
And they were selling
Let's
their
bring
own
it
people.
back.
Black people still sell their own people today too. By
I don't
the
know
way,
if I'm gonna last.
we're selling our own people today
I don't know
too.
if I'm gonna
You
last.
probably won't last with me.
I won't, because your ignorance is so
See,
overwhelming.
y'all, that's liberals. Y'all start name calling when y'all getting defeated in an argument.
You won't have an argument because you keep cutting me off.
Oh, well, that's fine. If they don't let me come back up, I made my point.
You didn't make your point.
I made my point.
You haven't
And
made
I'm
your
okay
point.
with being
And let me
voted
just
out.
tell you about your point. You started off saying, we believe in hard work.
Yeah.
And we believe in being compensated.
Reparations is not, though.
I like this guy. Let's go.
I think he's got to be a comedian. He's got to be a.
It's not hard work. It's stealing. It's Robin Hood.
You said you believe in hard work.
Yes.
And you believe in being compensated for hard work.
Yes.
Were slaves compensated for their work?
They weren't compensated.
This is a lot better than STDs, Steve M says. Hey, STD Fridays tomorrow. We do sex ed here, all right?
for their work. But why should people who are sitting at home playing video games, smoking marijuana,
Are you sitting
be
at home playing a
giving
video game?
checks?
Are
But
you
no, the
sitting at
people that
home
they-
playing a video
the
game?
people that they're wanting
Am I
reparations
sitting at home
for-
playing a video game? No.
The people
And
they
I don't
want
know
reparations
I don't
for-
know who these people are that you're talking about, because the majority of the Black community is not sitting at home playing video games.
The majority of the Black
Where are you
community is
getting
doing a
that
lot of
statistic?
things.
Where are you
A lot
getting
of
that
things that's not
statistic?
right.
Pause. You've been voted out by the majority. Please return to your seat.
I knew I was going to be surrounded by ignorance, but damn, let's go.
Whenever somebody's stupid, they just call everybody else ignorant because they got nothing else.
100% true.
Hello. My hand's wet from the water.
My hands are sweaty because
Okay.
I'm nervous. We both got sweaty
Got it.
hands. Okay. So I just wanted clarity because I think it'd be helpful. You said radical. I wanted just clarity on that. And then also with the reparations, you said it's not just money, it's other things. I just want to know, like, what do you see as like the grand picture of what would help?
The grand picture of what would help?
Of
what?
reparations. Like, what does that look like to you?
Oh, great. Reparations, what reparations looks like to me is a combination of reparations and remunerations. And reparations are about repair for damages that have been caused based on harm. Remunerations is a monetary response to work that has not been paid for. So if you come and paint my house and I don't pay you, you can take me to court and get remunerations for the work that you have done. So we're actually owed both in this nation as Black people. And
What
there
does that
are
look like?
She is so.
What does that look like?
She's so much more respectful to the woman. It's crazy. You see the difference?
Mm-hmm.
incredibly just clear-cut records that show the buying and selling and purchasing of slaves, the work that was done, also the intellectual property that was stolen from slaves, right? Because there was so much inventing that was happening. And there is also quite a bit of other reparations that are being discussed as it relates to property being stolen, as it relates to, again, redlining and the inability for Black people to get loans, et cetera.
Yes,
And
answer
these
the question
impediments
yet.
being solely based on their race.
As far as like discrimination.
Yes, like they're being solely based on their race, it not being about anything other than you're Black, so you can't, right? And so when it's very clear cut like that, there are very distinctive responses to that that can be done through a cash payment, as well as through measures that are being done to create funds for creating resources and responses like housing, like access to food, access to education, et cetera, that certain communities have not had access to because of the fallout from these things.
And I just had a
what
quick
does that
question
look
for
like then?
clarifying. With the funds, I'm wondering, where do you think those should come from? Like the actual
Mhm.
money, like is that we're raising money? Is it taxes? Like what does that look like?
Well, I think what they've been doing with these different reparations committees is they're looking at, all right, well, how much has this city or how much has this town or how much has this country gained from the estimated amount that was stolen from these people, right? So they're looking at like, what is this wage amount? For instance, like if you look at during that time, okay, what was the wage amount that a hired worker would get for this same work? All
He's not
right. And
answering
so
the
we're looking
question.
at how was that wage not provided?
Where's the money gonna come from, Amanda? She's not. See, this is a problem with these women, because guys, chat, Pearl, these women, they're so concerned about how we got here. A lot of what they say of how we got here is not true. But one of the best things you can do is say, okay, Amanda, okay. Let's accept everything you're saying is true. What are you gonna do about it now? And most of them can't answer that simple question because that's when the real work starts. She hasn't answered any of her questions. Where's the money going to come from? What's it going to look like? All she's talking about is how we got here, and that's her whole argument.
And what is that pool that is being created? And then we're looking at, all right, where can that wage come from in terms of how?
Oh my God, shut up. Can you answer the question?
Has that wage been applied? So there are spaces where this is very clear. I think the last thing that you asked about was the difference between liberal and radical.
Yeah, please.
Ultimately, the concept of liberalism is really just not Republican. right? I mean, that's essentially what it's become.
I
It's
would
like,
disagree with that, but I understand that's your stance.
there's a very generic concept of what liberalism is, in the sense that it's simply saying that I am a part of the bipartisan mind frame, but I am not a Republican. It's a mindset. It doesn't always show up in action, but it's a mindset that says, you know, I don't support extremes in certain ways, or, you know, I want the government to show up in certain ways. You know, I know there's a conservative point of view that says there should be less government, but even though it just says that, the action is very different. The radical mind state simply is living opposite to our colonizers, which is an imperialist, capitalist mind state. And radical Blacks do not believe that that is any way for us to have liberation.
Thank you for explaining that.
And thank you for being very respectful.
We were told to be respectful. We're not your enemies.
Thank you, my good sis.
What did she say? What did she say that whole time?
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
It's like women want to overtalk you.
Surrounded is now a podcast.
Piece that I'm looking.
Okay, let's see this guy.
Piece that I'm looking.
Let's see, we're gonna watch one more of these, and we're gonna go to the website.
Into criminality. Black males that grew up without a father are 10 times more likely to engage in criminal activity. And so I think one of the—
Can I put a pin right there and ask you a question?
Ask me whatever you like.
What is—
We got to stop conceding. No, I'm gonna finish. It's a problem because she won't stop talking.
The root cause of there being less fathers present?
Bad decision making on the part of the fathers. We live in a patriarchal system, like it or not. Men have—
No, we don't. No, we don't.
Dominated the socioeconomic, economic, and political power of this country and the world since our existence. So
that is just simply not true. Women have far more power than men.
Bad decision making, especially when we focus on the Black community, is the root cause of fatherlessness.
What type of decisions?
Not marrying the women we decide to lay down and have children with. Not being careful with the seeds that we plant in women. No woman can get pregnant with—
I'm gonna skip this guy. I can't. Let me take this pandering. I need to skip him. Someone else deserves to be the last one. I want to do this guy because he looks kind of interesting. Pandering. So we live in a patriarchy next.
For harmful behaviors of the people. You're literally saying our system is okay with this. So that's what Black Lives Matter is about, right? Saying like, okay, if police are going to act in this way, well, there should at least be fair repercussions across all people that they're doing this to, and they're not carrying out those repercussions for Black people. Why? And so the system is supporting this personal point of view that you're talking about. And that's what makes it also systemic, along with the fact that we know for a fact that the number of Black people incarcerated is greater per capita than white people. We know that Black people are having longer sentences for the same crimes than white people. That's not me making that up. Like, that is actual data.
All right,
so
pause.
systemic is real.
Pause. You've been voted out by the majority. Please return to your
Thank
seat.
you.
Thank you.
All right. How you doing, Amanda? I'm Ryan.
Ryan. Nice
to meet you. Thanks for being here. All right. Well, what I would say is, as far as systematic racism, right? I think most of us would agree that at the very least it has occurred in this country.
Okay.
Right. You know, we've had slavery, we've had Jim Crow segregation, all these different things.
Yeah.
I think my argument would be that right now in modern America, I don't think at the very least it's not as prevalent as it has been to where it could stop us from being successful. Okay. I would say that it's not a thing anymore where it needs to be talked about so much and so much attention focused on it. I don't think that currently there is systematic racism in a way that is going to be harmful to us. You know, like I said, to stop us. If anything, really, I think institutions such as things with DEI.
What do you think DEI is?
Basically, I think that it's in a way it's racism against other races outside of Blacks. And so,
where did you get that concept of it from?
I've researched a lot of things. I looked at different clips from both sides of the argument, things like that. But basically, my point is, I think that as far as systematic racism, I think that there's evidence from the other side, in that there's different things that are pushing Black people up in ways that are not fair, and different things like that. Because I think that we should be merit-based. I think that should always be merit-based, and where we're in, you know, when there's jobs and the different things like that, race should not be something that's considered. And so, I think that, let's say that there are ways right now where systematic racism is still alive. Again, it's not holding us back to a point where we can still be successful. We've seen so many examples, you know, today in modern times where Black Americans can, you know, there's no opportunities that I have that a white person or that a white person has that I don't have. I believe that all
Are you
opportunities.
sure about that? Can you actually say that?
I would say that I have every opportunity in this country to be successful, to do what I want to do, and to stand on business that every other race has. Absolutely. And
do you have the
again,
same support?
Even if I don't
I
have
like how she's letting the Chad talk. You notice that? Chads don't even know how good they have. Every other guy, she's talking over a little, like
She's
the
probably
light,
gonna reach out to him on
light
Instagram
skin,
after this
the
and
light skin
accuse
with,
him.
yeah, the light skin with like light eyes comes in, and she's just, look at her, she's in love.
She's probably gonna reach out to him afterwards on Instagram, and then he's gonna reject her, and she's gonna accuse him of sexual impropriety. Watch.
same support. I can do what I got to do.
Do you have the same support?
I probably have more. I
Do
can
you have
have
the
more
same
support than
community
others.
support?
I have excellent community support.
That's
Absolutely.
lucky for you.
Sure. Yeah.
Where did you grow up in a lower income, middle income, high income community?
It was middle income.
Okay.
Yeah. So again, I think that even those who grow up in very needy situations, right? They may not have been dealt a great hand of cards,
but they
can still, I think it comes down to accountability. You can still play your hand and play your cards strategically in a way where you can still be successful. You can still do your thing, and you can wind up on top. And there's nothing stopping us from doing that.
Would you say that low income white people and low income Black people have the same ability to excel?
I would say they have the same ability to excel.
Okay, so I'm going to start countering from that point then. Sure. So ultimately, we know that our low income communities are not given the same access to resources on a myriad of levels. They don't even have the same air quality. Okay. We know that low income communities in general are also.
But you can move. You don't have to keep living where you were born. There's low income jobs in every state. You know what I mean? It's like, okay.
Most of the poorest counties in the United States are white counties.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yep. Mm-hmm. You got it.
More police than other communities. We know that policing as it exists in the United States came from slave catching. So even the tradition of policing comes from protecting property, not protecting people. Okay. So let's start there. When we talk about low income, like the working class Black people in this nation, we know that they have never been considered ever, whether they were slaves or not. They just weren't considered. And we also know, as our brother Isaiah pointed out, that there are still people in very powerful positions that hold very personal positions as it relates to racism. And so in that way, they are impediments to someone moving forward.
Okay.
When we talk about DEI, the concept of DEI is not about lowering a standard. It's about widening the options. So we live in a nation that I feel like a lot of y'all are looking at the United States as a long history of something. We have a short history. All right. For 400 years, there was slavery. Black people were not even considered whole humans. We were 3/5 human. After the Civil War, during Reconstruction, Black people were then subjected to the Black laws. The Black laws were specifically for Black people. The Black laws incarcerated Black people at such an exorbitant rate that they were able to get another slave labor force through the 13th Amendment, because you had Black people that were serving entire life, like months-long, years-long sentences for jaywalking.
Okay.
So when we look at these things, we act as if, well, why can't we just get over that? That's 2 generations previous. Okay. So if a father in the early 1900s was incarcerated for 2 years, how do you think that would impede their family from being able to grow? Right.
Sure.
Now you're affecting the ability for their children to have 2 parents in the home. You also now have a mother who's like incredibly stressed and may have to always be working. So
I've tuned her out. I tuned her out like a minute ago. I don't know how anyone watches this woman. Does she have a big following, Doug?
She's been in movies. She was actually part of this group called Flowetry. Yeah, she's been in movies. She considers herself a comedian. Yeah,
A comedian?
Yeah, Amanda Seals.
Oh,
She was on a couple of hit shows.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, that's crazy. Well,
All right, I'm done with this. I can't listen to her nag anymore. I just can't. Oh, I don't have it in me. That was
Here's the thing about it, Pearl. If you're a successful Black man, I am, and there's some in the chat, guys. We've heard this. How many of these type of women have you heard speak? These are our sisters, our mothers, our Black female co-workers, women that you've gone on dates with. Some of the guys' wives and ex-wives are just like this woman. Tell me I'm lying.
cooked. Okay, well, guys, we're going to go on the Audacity Network. Every week I go through my analytics and I show you guys how I interpret them. An example is, so this stream is a little lower than normal. So that tells me something's off. And then what I do is I go through the system I have, which is title, thumbnail, is it the content, the topic? And then we kind of go through what makes this one lower versus like a few days ago, we had a really, really high show. We do this with clips, videos, etc. Okay, if you want to leave a comment or like on the way out, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and we're going to go to the Audacity Network. If you want to, you can also ask me questions directly about your YouTube channel, and I can analyze yours. Okay, they're saying it's the content. All right. All right. It's probably just nagging, to be honest. Oh my gosh. All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll be back tomorrow, same time. Love you guys. Bye-bye.